engaging investors is not a one-off affair, meaning you just go, you meet, everything progresses like clockwork. No, engaging of investors is time-consuming. When we talk about preparing the business, we are talking about ensuring that things are up to date. Are you tax compliant? Are your management accounts up to date? Your audited accounts? This strategy that you've said you've documented, is it still up to date? Does it reflect these milestones and capital raising that you're talking about? Are these documents available? So it's important that you have that.
So what are financial statements? You've heard most people talking about them, mainly the accountants. They'll tell you where your statements. So financial statement, they just summarize your business in numbers. Just as I said, your idea is good when said in words, but then the numbers part is what we call the financial statements. So there are three key statements. There's the balance sheet, or what we call the statement of financial position. There's the income statement, and then there's the statement of cash flows.
It is very important that we understand the factors that affect our businesses, both internal and external. Now, revenue is usually a very good place to start when we are working on projections. It's a major driver. Because at the end of the day, if we are not selling anything, whether the money is coming in or not, that's a different story. But then what are we doing? What are we waking up to do every day? So we've got to be making some revenues.
I got a lot of information on how to attract funding, how to speak with the investors, how to manage our business, and how to ensure that the company that I run is well managed in terms of how we move forward and stuff like that. And the expectations were high on insights about investing in business and understanding the logistics, especially for the business.
For you all, the most important thing for you to do is to do due diligence on even the investors. Not all money that you get is good money.
The expectations that I had were how to engage an investor. I wanted to know, how do I engage an investor? What kind of information does an investor want? And what kind of information should I give to an investor? So when I came yesterday, I had that kind of an expectation. And I think from the training, it was met very well. I now am aware of what I need to do, the kind of information I need to have, and how to engage the investor further. How do you calculate the ratios, and how do you interpret the ratios, the financial ratios from the financial statements, to get to know how your company is operating and how an investor would view the company.
We produce compressed petroleum gas through thermal decomposition of plastic and plastic waste.
We make biodiesel from used cooking oil, helping the hotels meet waste disposal and regulatory standards. We are the first licensed company by NEMA to process and to actually dispose used cooking oil from restaurants.
I know the challenges, and you guys are in the right path. You learn as much as you can. We, on the other hand, who are managing money that belong to other people, ask all these hard questions because of moral hazards and adverse selection challenges. There's so much asymmetry. We don't know you, neither do we understand your businesses. So for us to be able to be at par, or at least understand your businesses to a certain extent, to the point where we can take risk in your business, we need to ask you all these hard questions.
Investors are not animals. It's a conversation, as in you get to learn. You also ask the investor questions. You know, what are your interests? What do you invest in? Why should you give you the opportunity to invest? Because investors are there because of their businesses. Businesses are not there because of the investors. If you guys were not around, we could not be we could not be here. So you have a very big value.
Control of business in the growth process is almost the most important thing that you're going to have to deal with, and we tend not to be willing to pay for good management, a good accountant that will keep your books, that will advise you, that will give you key highlights of the performance of your business, so that when you're pitching, and maybe right now your man and wife in the business, or two partners, and you're trying to scale it may not be the right time to hire people, but the moment you start to raise capital, we start to ask, what are the controls around this business?
We are happy to be part of this training today. When I came, I thought I was just coming to be trained about how to pitch only, but I've learned much more. We've been told about financials and how to make our financials right. It's actually beyond our expectation.
Facilitators were fantastic for private equity company. They have done a very, very good job, and I think they offered more solutions that we anticipated too, and it was really very good to have them train us.
So you see all the things we talked about over the last 2 days. It's not theory. It's not theory. It's actually stuff that you need to be able to implement. Remember, we talked about track record. We talked about valuation methodologies, what is appropriate for you.